Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. President Bola Tinubu to depart Abuja today to Japan and Brazil. Reps to name shame state divert. European leaders expresses hope ahead of Trump-Putin talks on Ukraine. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
The depth of knowledge, fun, and entertainment you experience on Spectrum Television can never be overstated, especially when you get them all at once. At Spectrum Television, we start your day with insightful political and social discussion, a spotlight on Africa and the world's view. On well-being, we prioritize your health and mental space, staying fit and achieving goals. Stay updated with the business world, financial markets, and global economic analysis. We bring you all the latest from the world of sports and cutting-edge innovations, looking at the future of tech on Tech Insights, and stay updated latest in entertainment and music on Entertainment Now.
Thank you for staying tuned. Our first report this morning is that President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja today for a two-nation working visit to Japan and Brazil with a brief stopover in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. A statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said the president will in Japan participate in the 9th Tokyo holding Yokohama from August 20 to 22. The conference with the theme Co-create Innovative Solutions with Africa will focus on driving Africa's economic transformation, improving the business environment through private investment and innovation, and building a resilient and sustainable society anchored on human security, peace, and stability. Aside attending plenary sessions, Tinubu will also hold bilateral meetings and engage with top executives of Japanese companies with investment in Nigeria. From Japan, the president will proceed to Brasilia on August 24th for a two-day state visit at the invitation of Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. His engagement in Brazil will include a bilateral meeting with his host and participation in a business forum with Brazilian investors. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has directed a sweeping review of deductions and revenue retention practices by Nigerian revenue generating agencies in a bid to boost public servants, improve spending efficiency, and unlock resources for growth. The order, issued at the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, covers the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), Nigerian Customs Service, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC), Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC). The President's directive was disclosed to journalists by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. According to Edun, President Tinubu specifically called for a reassessment of NNPC's 30% management fee and 30% frontier exploration deduction under the Petroleum Industry Act. He also tasked the economic management team, chaired by Edun, to present actionable recommendations to effect on the optimal way forward. The President said the directive was part of efforts to sustain reforms that have dismantled economic distortions, restore enhance resilience, and bolster investor confidence. Away from that, the Federal Executive Council has approved 4 major proposals from the Ministry of Power in a renewed drive to reform and strengthen the nation's national electricity grid. Minister of Power Adebayo Adela told journalists at the State House, Abuja, after the FEC meeting He said that the measures aim to modernize supply reliability and meet rising electricity demands nationwide. He said the first approval was the release of 13 billion naira for compensation on right-of-way acquisitions under the Lagos Industrial Transmission Project funded through a $238 million development loan. The project, he noted, is targeted at boosting supply to key industrial clusters in Lagos, which accounts for a large share of Nigeria's output. The other 3 approvals, according to him, are centered on the procurement and installation of high-capacity transformers to replace weak on the national grid. In the meantime, the federal government has commenced a 3-day citizens' engagement tour of Enugu and Ebonyi State in the southeast aimed at showcasing ongoing projects and interacting directly with citizens. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this at a parley with media executives and influencers in Enugu. This minister, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Chinasa Ogbo project, the team will host a citizens' engagement forum at Government House today by 6 p.m. to rub minds and bags from in Enugu State. Idris, while commending the warm reception accorded his delegation, especially from Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State, convened President Tinubu's goodwill to the people of the Southeast. Elsewhere, the government has imposed a 7-year suspension on the establishment of new federal universities of underutilized institutions, overstretched resources, and a drop in academic quality. The decision, approved at the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President J. Alausa. Briefing State House correspondent after the meeting, inadequate staffing and dwindling enrollment in many existing institutions. According to him, 199 universities received fewer than 100 applications through JAM last year, with thousands. Of the 295 polytechnics nationwide, many had fewer than 99 applicants, while 219 colleges of education also posted poor enrollment figures, including 64 with no applications at all. Alausa warned that unchecked proliferation risks producing ill-prepared graduates, eroding the value of Nigerian degrees internationally and worsening unemployment. He explained that the suspension would enable the government to channel resources into upgrading facilities, hiring qualified staff, and expanding the carrying capacity of existing institutions. From the Green Chambers, the House of Representative Committee on NG Care has threatened to name and shame state that may have collected money meant for palliatives but embezzled or diverted it to other uses. Its chairman, Abubakar Kusada, issued the warning while addressing reporters at the end of a meeting of the committee. Kusada said the federal government has so far invested about 1.6 trillion naira on the program, but wondered why Nigerians have not felt the benefit it was supposed to bring. The committee chairman noted that the government designed the program as a social safety net to provide needed succor and relief to Nigerian citizens in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, the removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of exchange rate with attendant inflationary pressures and economic hardships. In education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) has said it will begin the screening of over 500 exceptional candidates below 16 years of age seeking admission into tertiary institutions for the 2025/2026 academic session between September 22 and 26. The board said the screening would be done by a special technical committee it has set up. It also said have been selected for Lagos, Abuja, and Owerri. The JAM registrar, Professor Isaac Oluyede, said these were among the resolutions reached during the virtual meeting of the board. He said Lagos will host 397 candidates, Owerri 136, and Abuja 66. Years of political instability. On the foreign scene, European leaders have expressed hope following a virtual meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump just 2 days before his planned talks with Russian leader Vladimir Putin in Alaska aimed at exploring ways to end the war in Ukraine. Donald Trump told European leaders his aim for the upcoming summit with Vladimir Putin is to secure a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, with territorial issues decided alongside Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and security guarantees included. French President Emmanuel Macron said the talks clarified Trump's intentions and allowed Europe to share its expectations. The call, involving leaders from the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Finland, Poland, EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen and NATO Chief Mark Rutte, was a last-minute effort to ensure Ukraine's interests and Europe's security remain central to discussions. Meanwhile, Trump later rated the exchange a 10, warned of very serious consequences for Russia if it continues the war, and said a successful Friday summit would lead to a follow-up meeting with both Putin and Zelensky. Still on the foreign scene, Australia and Vanuatu have agreed to a 10-year deal aimed at strengthening security and economic ties worth $500 million. Australia's Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles and Vanuatu's leader Jotham Nabat said the Nakamal agreement will transform Australia's relationship with its Pacific neighbour. The leaders, who described the deal as a win-win situation for both nations, said the deal will be officially signed in September. This comes as Australia tries to grow its influence in the region to counter China's increased spending power. Still to come in the news. CARB takes disciplinary action against 3 countries. Stay tuned.